And you never use words carelessly. And yet you called this a terror attack when by no definition was it a terror attack. That's a lie. You told that lie on purpose, and I'm wondering why you did.
Well, Tucker, thank you for having me on. When you aired your episode last night, I sent you a text shortly thereafter and said, listen, I'd like to go on because the way I phrased things yesterday, it was sloppy and it was frankly dumb. And
I don't buy that. Whoa.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and the current nature of the MAGA cult and its unending cycle of dismantling facts is as follows. Number one, something bad, like January 6th happens, and there is a quiet pause to extend thoughts and prayers.
I've known you a long time, since before you went to the Senate. You were a Supreme Court contender. You take words as seriously as any man who's ever served in the Senate. And every word, you repeated that phrase. I do not believe that you used that accidentally. I just don't.
Number two, Tucker Carlson or someone else on Fox News or OAN starts to sell a narrative based around how Trump would behave at the moment. Be that downplaying or introducing doubt into the idea that it is somehow not what it seems.
In 2022, the GOP spent $40 million vilifying Pelosi in ads, and on Friday, her husband was attacked by a hammer. Do you see the direct correlation? If you criticize Nancy Pelosi, obviously you're endangering her family. They're telling you, unfortunately, you can no longer have free speech. Well, you can't. They're telling you this is an example of stochastic terrorism.
Number three, the narrative shifts and Trump voters tip the scales with social media posts and creating a landscape of conspiracies or alternate facts. Finally, number four, the event in question is no longer a tragedy or an attack. It's a cry for help, a desperate grasp at the parts of American life as we know it, being turned upside down and sold as just what happens when blank groups do blank.
We begin with breaking news. David DePape, the suspect accused of beating Paul Pelosi in his home with a hammer, is in the United States illegally. That's right. The man the biased press said was a MAGA supporter is an illegal alien. He is reportedly in the United States with a long-time visa overstay.
That is the pattern of, again, what happened on January 6th. Others incited violence, and now the attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband. When do you call a spade a spade? And when do you allow the right wing to keep calling it something else? It's been happening far too often since Trump got into office, was impeached twice, and then left. The stain is still on the pages of our history. That ink is still very fresh. If there is not a significant push to stop the violence, stop the rhetoric, and find a way through to a better place, then who are we to judge when other countries go through the same thing? How many times have we proclaimed that it can't happen here, and then it does? January 6th should not have happened. The attack on Paul Pelosi should not have happened. Women and people of color in Congress or people of various faiths should not have to be terrified that one of their co-workers is going to casually call for their execution. And how did we get here? Well, I think we know the answer to that one. The real question is, where do we go from here? When do the people we elected to serve us do just that and call out the violence and the terror for what it is and not simply wait until it's too late? We've done way too much waiting as it is. Donald Trump should be arrested on any crime, really pick one, and he should get the opportunity to testify before the January 6th committee, but it should be live feed from behind bars. The more access this man has to power and a way to get his threats out, the more he will use it. Twitter may now reinstate his account thanks to Elon Musk, and True Social seems to be doing the work for him as well. This man should have no power in his voice, and it should not be used to continue to sow doubt and division amongst us. What's the next worst thing that he can call on to do towards his political enemies? No one should be willing to wait and see, and that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.